let's talk about Splitface. He's honestly such an underrated set. It really took me by surprise just how good he really is. And not just a good set, the parts that come in this set, they're pretty great as well. So let's talk about how we could use them in our own creations and also how you could revamp this character as well. Lots to cover in today's video, so let's dive in. Splitface has a wonderfully unique concept. Now, yeah, sure, the idea of a split down the middle villain, it certainly isn't unique to this character, it's been done before. But we've never really seen it on a construction Lego set, and I think it works really well. It works well from like a parts perspective. It gives you a lovely variety of pieces in multiple colors. And as well, there are multiple different like shapes and sizes. So a good cheap set that gives you good variety, that's always a win. Now, yeah, you do end up with the occasional like odd number of pieces, like for example 4 of these armor shells, that would have been more ideal than 3. But hey, Lego sets are all about building the set first, playing with it, then you take it apart and you build your own stuff. And with the amount of variance that's in this set, it just opens so many doors for building opportunities, so I'm not too fazed by the fact that you get some odd-numbered pieces. Now, I think Splitface is a character that's just filled with personality. The mask is just so rich with character. There's spikes everywhere, that big, bulky jaw. He looks like a caricature of like a stereotypical strong villain henchman. Hero Factory sets work so well when they lean into more like stereotypical villain tropes. And this set's doing exactly that. And I love this gunmetal claw arm. The bulkier design here makes him look all muscular and buff. And then the way that it mirrors the leg armor, that's a nice bit of consistency. And also from like a color theory or just like design perspective, the choice to make one side red and the other side gunmetal, that's good. It gives you a bit of a peek into who they are. Half of him is the qualities of the color red. He's rageful, he's angry, he's passionate. But he could also have some more loving or tender qualities too. And then the gunmetal, it showcases a more hard-edged, resilient, persistent side to Splitface. All these qualities, he's a layered person, Maybe he only acts like this 50% of the time, but still, all these qualities, they add up to someone who's, no nonsense, vengeful, and a mad villain. Lego packed in a lot into this somewhat simple toy, and when you take the time to take a closer look, you realize just how layered and cool this toy really is. But what about the parts that come in this set? Let's talk about how we can use those in our own creations. So the set comes with 3 of these lovely red shoulder armor pieces, and Patrick Biggs uses them on his lovely royal crested dragon. Seeing them placed on top of the front leg here, it's great to see how seamlessly this blends into the torso design. The shaping of it is so natural and organic. This piece is such a helpful element if you're building some type of creature or animal. Plus we see a similar element on the back here. Now this is the shoulder pad piece that comes on the Star Wars Ultra Build set, Baze Malbus from Rogue One. We can see it on his shoulder there. The two have been used in similar spaces, but they've certainly got a similar feel to them, so it's nice to see that this piece can partner well with other types of CCBS armor pieces and achieve similar results. How wonderful. Or you could use this piece like Dylan Meaves has done here on his mock Robo Brawler 5000. You're placing 2 of them together and slapping them onto the hands, and suddenly you've got the perfect boxing glove. What a clever design. This set also comes with another add-on piece. It's the shield cap element in gunmetal. Now Joxon has used this here on his mock Halgazvod the Purifier. We can see it being used here as crotch armor. It's just a small inclusion, but it's a neat way to add a rough bit of ornate detail to this magnificent mock. Gosh, this is so pretty. Look at the detail that Joxon has packed into this magnificent face design. Everything about this is so good. It's probably my favorite Jock mock. You also get 2 gunmetal machinery armor elements. Now the interesting texture on this piece is so unique, and it adds a nice bit of mechanical flair to any Lego build. And Joxon certainly took advantage of that texture and used it here on this mock. Seeing the textures of this piece on the back, it's a great way to establish that this mock is indeed a mechanical robot. Good idea. Now Splitface does include 2 of these rotary saw weapon pieces, and Dylan Meaves used them here for a spider leg design. The sharp look of these blades, it adds a wonderful creepy look and feel to this creation. And when you partner it with some pistons and some yellow highlights, this suddenly feels like a robot from a horror movie that's come to life and is designed to kill. These pieces are the perfect touch for any kind of evil character. The blaster that Splitface comes with is another great piece. Joxon has used it on a blaster design here, which it just makes sense, right? It is a blaster after all. But take a look at all the other additions he's added on top of this blaster piece. Adding things like a scope, extending the front of the blaster, you're adding this curved ammo belt at the bottom. It's wonderful. Small changes, they really do enhance this piece, so maybe you could do something similar if you've got this piece lying around in your Lego collection. Now for a somewhat rare piece that comes in this set, it is this lime spike element. Now this piece only appears in 2 other sets in lime, but it's a pretty helpful piece. So Dylan Meaves has used it here on his Nui Rama Fly. We can see it being used as the fly's little proboscis or little part of its mouth. And when you combine it with a few other different types of claw elements, it really helps sell that this is indeed an insect. That's such a great inclusion. And finally, Splitface's torso, well, it looks great. The printed details I think are stunning, but it might be a little bit hard to use this outside of a Splitface creation, right? The half and half color scheme is quite specific, but check out what Superior Bricks has done here. He's used it to create this really slick, dark red virus or parasite that's spreading through this character's body. Combining that torso with that dark red octopus there, it really does look like veins coursing through the body as something spreads through it. That's so clever. What a new and refreshing way to use this piece that is really different to how it's used on Splitface. So impressive. Now let's finish things off by taking a glance at some revamps of Splitface. Hopefully some of these here will inspire you to reimagine the character in your own unique way. Victor has a wonderful revamp and I love what he's done with the torso design. So he's added this extra chest plate on the torso. This piece comes from this Chima Ultra Build set. Of course you can see it on the torso here. But the colors of it, they match Splitface's torso rather well. It's impressive to see how it's a good extension of the torso and it continues that half and half concept. And this also makes it look like the red is sort of like bleeding over into the gunmetal as it's like spreading throughout the body, which is a cool idea. Plus this mock has some lovely trans neon green additions added to the gunmetal side. That's just really cool. Alark 1 has a very unique take on the character where it looks like both sides are morphing together or separating from one another. It's just like this nice horror vibe, which I wouldn't expect for the character, but hey, it works really well. Yeah, this is such a great way to quite literally stretch the concept of Splitface and make it a little bit different from how it appeared in the set. And you got all these wires in the middle looking like guts hanging out. There's some really good spooky horror vibes to this. I adore this. This is a nice reminder that even though something has been revamped and done before, you can still find some way to expand upon that concept, change it up a little bit, and do something refreshing and different. Dylan Meaves has a nice revamp as well. I love how much taller and buffer this one is. Splitface lends himself quite well to the vibe and size of a Titan. Yeah, I think it's that gruff look of that mask. It just complements a very lean and strong body design, which this very much has. Something else that's cool about this is that it doesn't actually use that Splitface torso piece that comes in the set. Instead, Dylan has used a lot of smaller pieces to just perfectly nail an exact 50-50 split down the middle. How good does that look? It's great to see the character like this. And plus, this is a really good reminder, you could just buy that mask on Bricklink. It probably costs way less than the set. And then you just use your existing pieces, you don't even need that torso piece. Revamps like this are a great reminder that you don't always need to own the set or every single piece that comes in that set to build the character. And finally, I'm sure you were curious what this character would look like if he wasn't split down the middle and he was the same color on both sides. Well, BrickThing offers us a photoshopped image that shows a totally red Splitface, which he jokingly refers to as Harvey, Explode's cousin. It's a shame you can't get that torso piece printed with red on both sides. I love how this looks. And then he also has a version which is a fully gunmetal version of Splitface. Both of these are great. The only issue, of course, is the torso, but for the most part, you could build something similar to this. Maybe you just swap the torso out for a purely red torso or a purely gunmetal torso without any printing on it. Now, if you're curious, by the way, this is how the mask splits apart for Splitface. You slot either side onto the side connections of the face, which means, yes, if you have two of this mask, you can make it so that it is fully gunmetal or so that it's fully red. I love that. I'm glad that they made that a thing. Now, sadly, both sides aren't identical. You can see how the spikes line up here, that they're different on both sides. So either way, he's going to have a split face, which is different on both sides, but the color this time will be the same. But yeah, this is such a wonderfully unique mask. And yeah, you can attach it from the side like this. It looks a little weird. It kind of resembles a face, but not really. It does mean though that you have to attach it in a weird way onto the head, but it works. Anyway, that's Splitface. This set is an unexpected delight. It's packed full of clever ideas, great parts, and a wonderful overall execution. If you don't have him in your collection, I'd recommend picking him up on Bricklink. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.